Good morning. Welcome again to the starting lineup. I'm Tony Curry along with Kip Kiefer. It is not just any Saturday. It is
Derby Saturday.
Yeah, baby. I love it.
I said it last week. There's hundreds of thousands of horse races in America. There's only one Derby day. It's phenomenal. 175,000 people when the horses come out. The University of Kentucky band will be playing on my old Kentucky home, and everybody in the place sings it. Brings a tear to my eye every year. It's awesome.
I was always asked the question, what's a bigger party, the infield at the Kentucky Derby or the infield at Talladega Superspeedway? And they would be shunned and amazed that I'd say the Kentucky Derby. You see more pairs in the Kentucky Derby than you do at Talladega Superspeedway. It is crazy in the infield.
The very first time I got to go to the Derby, I was barely 18 years old. We just drove all night like kids do and showed up at Louisville and got in the infield, didn't know what we were in for, didn't bring anything. Everybody has these giant coolers and all kinds of chairs. We had nothing. But at the end of the day, when they started clearing the place out, there were bodies passed out all over the ground.
Yep.
I mean, it looked like there'd been some kind of war incursion
there was a war there.
And I really benefited by paying attention to what went on all day. I found 3 winning tickets on the ground where people went, "Wow, that's no good."
And you're the only one that was looking through those bad boys.
I was.
You were on your hands and knees looking through the ground. We're going to talk some Derby, and we're going to talk about how to bet the Derby.
Yeah,
a lot of
important.
people have never placed a horse bet. If you know what you're doing, it is a moneymaker. You've been doing it your entire life. Our good friend Herb Winches has made a lifetime out of gambling on the Kentucky Derby, not to mention horse racing. So we're going to tell you how to do that and not be freaked out when you go to the window. And, of course, you need to study over to John Rogers. Head over to the Birmingham
Racecourse is still the place to go. Tony was talking, and I were talking before the show. There's websites and places that you can get bets on the Derby, but it's really confusing, and they put fees and different things. If you want to bet the race, just go out on Saturday morning, anytime after the gates open at 10:30, and you can go right up to the window. We'll give you some hints on what to do, but get your tickets, and if you don't want to hang around there and watch the race with several hundred people or however many they draw this year, go home, sit in your easy chair, have your tickets, and you could run back there Sunday and cash them in.
One of the best places to watch the Birmingham Racecourse for any of the
I remember
races,
when American Pharoah finally broke the Triple Crown drought. The atmosphere at the Birmingham Racecourse was absolutely electric. When he was coming down the stretch, people were going absolutely crazy. It was a fantastic atmosphere.
It took a little while longer than, I say, a 2-minute race for Shedeur Sanders to make it into the, the draft. We were watching it the other night. I guess it was Aaron Rodgers. I was trying to think of some of the other guys where they just sit there by the phone, and they're just, and obviously they had a camera on Shedeur, and of course it's the first round, the second round, certainly not the third round, right? Not the fourth round. And then, of course, the fifth round, and of course, there was also a hack call we'll get into in a second. I had a really interesting show with Mark Ingram, who's the athletic director for the UAB Blazers, was up in Tennessee. He's got friends that play for the National Football League. He just got off the phone with Peyton Manning. They were talking about Shedeur Sanders, and I asked him point blank, why did he go in the fifth round? A lot of word around the NFL camps is that he did not take the NFL draft seriously enough. Now, Shedeur's got a father who, by the way, is a Hall of Fame NFL player.
Pretty good player.
Pretty good guy. And yeah, he's splashy.
3 or 4 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, he's splashy. He's prime time. But you would think having a father like that, he would have everything secured and ready to go and know exactly what to expect on a draft day, particularly when a lot of people thought he was going to be the first quarterback going. What do you believe happened?
He didn't have an agent to start off with, and in this day and age, that's an aberration that they're not used to. The agent not only tries to secure a big payday for himself, he works all the teams, works all the executives, and Shedeur refused to throw at the combine, which was a black mark. And apparently a couple of his interviews, and that's a big part of the process now, they sit down with team executives because they're getting ready to make a multi-million-dollar investment in this guy. They want to make sure psychologically and attitude-wise he's going to fit. And apparently a couple of those interviews went really bad where they got the label on Shedeur. And, okay, all these franchises are competing against each other, but it's one clique, really. It's one big kind of inner circle. And the word got around, he's just a pain in the rear end. He's going to be a distraction. He's going to be a problem. It's just like the stock market struggling lately in the midst of all this tariff thing. Uncertainty breeds contempt. And because he wasn't willing to drink the Kool-Aid and be a conformist, and kind of came off with a big attitude. I'm sure Deion retiring his number, despite that he was only a 500 quarterback at Colorado, him tooling around in a Rolls Royce. There were just a lot of red flags. I said, do we really want to make an investment in this guy?
It's unfortunately that those red flags were so bright. And again, I don't know if Deion Sanders was an attribute or was it a disadvantage of having him as a father. You would think, and he's well beloved, and obviously a lot of people thought he was really splashy.
He probably ruffled quite a few feathers.
I think he did too, but driving around a $220,000 vehicle in college is not a good look, particularly when you're going to be going into something where you're going to have to take the towels, you're going to have to bring out the rackets, you're going to have to do those things as a first-year guy in the National Football League. And I think a lot of people just kind of felt like you said, I don't know what he got on the Wonderlick, but it wasn't very good.
No.
And because of that, he fell from the first to the fifth round. Now, the likes of Mel Kiper and some of these other guys.
Mel was incredulous.
And he's still incredulous, but it's like that's his job. He's the one that talks to these reps, the scouts, and the NFL people to find out what their feelings are. But again, going through this process, and that's what Mark was saying earlier today, the physical attributes of it, they've already seen him play. They get a chance to put their hands on him at these combines, at these NFL days, and do this. Exactly. So you get a chance to put your hands on the guy. But half of it is the mind stuff. And Peyton Manning will be the first guy to tell you, listen, he wasn't the best physical specimen, but man, he was one of the smartest guys that came out of the draft.
And obviously, like you said, Shedeur didn't create that impression. Plus, I think it's something that I thought of the night of the draft when I was communicating with Terry Quillian back and forth about why he was still there. Travis Hunter was the second pick in the whole draft. Jacksonville traded way up to get him. If you go back and look at a lot of those 37 touchdown passes that Shedeur threw, catches of unbelievable proportions by Travis Hunter. It's almost like me or you could have been just throwing it up for grabs, and this guy was beating everybody to the ball and getting it. So I think that worked against him too. He had a phenomenal top draft pick to throw to, and I think maybe some of the credit that he should have deserved got put in Travis's column.
Now, I know back in the day you would have called somebody and said, hey, is your refrigerator running? Oh. Well, you better shut it off, right?
Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Let him out, for God's sake.
So evidently, kid of
the Falcons
coach, and now the coach has been fined over $100,000.
And the franchise has been fined $2 million.
Yeah. At first, I was like, "Come on!"
This is like a teenager.
Yeah, I think he's 19 or 20 years old.
Good
he got
grief.
the phone number from his dad iPad, which was open. He probably should have known better. The kid's probably going to be cutting grass till he's 30 years old. But do you have any thoughts on that? I thought it was a little over the top.
Good grief.
It's unfortunate.
It's so cruel to start with, and I guess a 19-year-old just thinks things that are funny. But when Shedeur is sitting around gripping and he calls him and says, I'm Mickey Loomis from the New Orleans Saints, that is just a
Which, by the way, he sounded nothing like Mickey Loomis.
Oh, of course. That's just a rotten thing to do. That kid, I don't know what his future's going to be, but good grief. I'm not drafting him.
Yeah. All right, the show's only 30 minutes long. We go 3 hours today because it is Kentucky Derby Day.
And we'll get the picks here in the last segment, so don't go anywhere.
But if I'm going to the window and I don't know how to bet a horse, and I'm just going to be listening to Kip Keefer's plays, I haven't looked at the dapples on the back, I haven't looked at how they've done their last 5 races, whether they won any other derbies or not. I'm just going to go with the plays you're giving me. What's the best way to make money on
I think the easiest way for a new fan, and Monty and I, we're going to have Monty on in the last segment to give his Derby picks as well. I see Monty and I have kind of gone similar directions in terms of what to bet. The easiest bet that you can make money at in the Derby are exactas. Okay. That's when you pick the first 2 finishers in order in the race. And it really is the easiest bet for an inexperienced player, because if you like a certain horse, pick about 4 or 5 others, put that horse with those horses, and you can. I know Monty likes to flip them around and put the other 4 with his favorite in second. But that's a pretty simple way. If any of your 2 numbers cross the finish line first and second, you win then, and that's really the best way to go about it. There's trifectas, superfectas.
Yeah. Let's go straight exactas. You're going the 1 and 2 horse to come in first and second. A $2 bet, and you want to box it to make sure that they can go 2-1, 1-2. Yeah. How much would it cost you?
That'd be $4.
Okay, $4, and based on obviously what the odds are, that's what the payoff would be. So if you're looking at, we used to do quinellas. We used to do all kinds of crazy, exotic things like that, and I did not know what I was doing. And I think one of the reasons people don't realize that you can make money at this sport is because they get a little And listen, at the Birmingham Racecourse, they've been doing this for years. They'll walk you through it. They'll show you how to get it done. And the bets, but you can put just down a little bit and walk away with some serious cash if you've seen the commercials.
And you never know when it's going to come. I was at Evangeline Downs, a little track in Louisiana years ago, just messing around. I was waiting for a meeting, and I played a race. I put $24 in it, played a superfecta, which you have to pick the top 4. And my play was about this long because I had just about every number in the whole deal because you could get them in dime increments. Yep. So it's only a tenth of the payoff. I put $24 in. It came up. I had a photo finish for 4th, but they put my 12 horse up. I said, oh, yeah, I got $580 back. That's awesome. And I went, wait a minute, there's another zero there. $5,800.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I'll tell you a story about a friend of mine who won $850,000.
Oh, yeah, with the big pick.
With the pick 6, he did that in Cincinnati. We'll be right back here in the starting lineup.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Oh, welcome to the Legend K with the legend from the Paul Feinbaum Show. I'm here with 2 famous guys from K4Wins.com. These guys have been blowing it up. They're personal friends of mine, the Golden Boys here on the starting lineup, hitting over 60%. So I'm bringing them to you live today so you can make you some money this weekend. We rapid fire because we're wrapping this thing up, Kipper.
That's right.
Give you a derby pick right quick for the folks.
Number 18 is my pick, Sovereignty for Bill Mott.
I'm going to go the same way. I'm going to go Sovereignty as well. This is the man right here. He knows what's going on, man.
Well, I'm tell you, I'm a Monty Ballard man, so I'm riding with Rodriguez and that other Japanese horse that he's talking about,
Cafe.
whatever, Cafe, whatever. But I also like American Promise. Keep your eye on American Promise. I like that name. Now we're rapid fire right on to the NBA. This is Future Bet Saturday right here in the cave to make you some money with 2 famous K4.com winners. Y'all go to the website. NBA Finals. Who wins it, Kip?
Boston Celtics against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm sorry, Ledge. I like the Thunder.
Plus 150. That means you get $1.50 for every dollar you bet right now. Tony, who you like as the NBA champion?
Sancho Cruz Curry's been riding them Cleveland Cavaliers. I've actually seen them play twice this year. They're playing some of the best basketball of the year. I'm going to go to Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to pull it back, and they didn't need LeBron James to pull one home.
Oh, how about that, Tony T? That's plus 500. That means you get $5 for every dollar you bet right now. Call your bookie, get a hold of Vegas, K4Wins.com. These boys are bad. Get your money, get your house payment right, get that woman a diamond, get your money right this weekend right here with these guys. Hey, right now, the college football finals, it's way out there, but I've won so much money with you guys this year. I'm like your son out in the desert. I'm betting future stuff out here. In the Legend K Bears betting future stuff. Right now, give me the college football champion next year, Kipper.
Oh gosh, that's a big leap. I'm going to go a long shot here. I think Lane Kiffin is going to be a man possessed. He had the team to win it last year. He just phenomenally performed again in the transfer portal. A dark horse, it's got to be a big number. I'm going with the Ole Miss Rebels.
Hey, that's plus 2,400. That means you get $24 for every dollar you bet. Tony, it's a long way off, but who's the next college football champion?
I'm going way off the street as well. The Oregon Ducks, I think they got a lot coming back this year. And for some reason, the USC, they have not done squat for so long. Last year, they were right on the cusp of doing some pretty special things. They're bringing back their quarterback and all 4 linemen. I'm going to go with USC. Do you have odds on USC?
I got them plus 3,300. That's $33 for every dollar you bet. I like the Crimson Tide plus 2,500. That's $25 for every dollar we bet. Because if Kevin DeBoer don't win it next year, me and Bears running him out of town. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like K4Wins.com and the legend. Sports Insane.
One of our good buds and part of our K4 Wins group, Kai Gregory. He's with Southern Precision Staffing. They do a wonderful job in staffing, whether it's really anything, and they're looking for skilled jobs. So if you're into welding, steel work, whatever, they've always got a job for you at Southern Precision Staffing. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828, right here in Hoover, Alabama, serving the United States of America. So anywhere in the country, you can call that number and get it done. Your word and your handshake still means something. Check out SPS, Southern Precision Staffing. We'll have Kai on our show sometime this summer. And of course, obviously, we get ready for college football season. And also our good friend, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Mother's Day is coming up on May 11th. Father's Day coming up a month later. It is the biggest day at the Woodhouse Day Spa. They do a wonderful job. I'm a guy, I don't like to shop, period, and I certainly don't like to shop online, but if you go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, you can get in and out. You can have your own individualist card within about 2 or 3 minutes. You can do it by the amount or by the procedure, whatever you want to do. Check out the Woodhouse Day Spa. They do fantastic work. Now, K4Wins, K4Wins.com. You had a night last week.
Monday
not
night,
one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not 8, but a perfect 9-0 on K4 Wins. If you just go on our website, 9-0, and I'm happy to tell you that I played every one of the
jumped on board.
ones. Now, the night before, I think you were like 6-3. I was like, you know what? I feel something. I'm going to put a little. So I put me $1.50 on each one of those bad boys, and then I added a Cincinnati Reds team total over, which also came in. So I won a perfect 10-0. I can't tell you the last time that happened, but you've been on fire, my friend.
Oh, I really like the playoffs. I like the series because as series develop and you watch the games, you see trends. A team might win game 3 and you say, well, they got totally outplayed. That was a lucky goal. There was something happened there. Or in basketball, there's a bad call. That's another subject that we got to get into sometime in the near future. All of this replay, and the NBA managed to completely screw up 2 calls at the end of games that cost teams wins in the playoffs. The whole process. But to get back on task here, the K4 Wins is a phenomenal website. We've got 4 experts. We give you the best information possible. We're hitting almost a 70% clip against the spread. It's insane. If you like sports betting, if you're not a part of K4Wins.com or listening to our podcast on the Tony Curry Radio Network, you are missing out on your opportunity to cash in big.
K4Wins.com, K4Wins.com. It's absolutely free. You can also see some of the great writings from a man who is a great literature man, too, as well. You know, you like to write about song things and things like that.
I just signed a copy of my book for the legend. What does George Clooney have that I ain't got? On sale now at Amazon.com.
Would you stop already with the book? When that thing come out?
2016.
I thought it was 1986.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Case Kiefer back again for another edition of the Vegas Heaters. I'm a longtime sports bettor, sports betting writer, and assistant sports editor for Greenspun Media Group, which includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly. And yes, we are back to football this week because, frankly, I don't want the past week's event to end. The NFL Draft was a windfall for me. Not the best event of the year. I think it's hard to top the Super Bowl where we just nailed every prop. The game went exactly how we thought it would. So that was number one. It's a lot easier to get down big sums of money on that as well. And I think the Masters also edged the draft, where, of course, we gave out Rory McIlroy on the show. And he came through big for us. But the draft went extremely well. Not as great in the Vegas Heaters. I think we only gave out 1 official play. However, I did say that my whole draft was going to come down to the 1 through 5 staying chalky. Hopefully you were able to monetize that because it did ultimately happen with Cam Ward into Travis Hunter, into Abdul Carter, into Will Campbell, into Mason Graham. Kind of took him a roundabout way with the Jaguars trade, but we got there. Got it done, and now I remember last year on the show at about this time, it's a weird sports time. It's hard to talk about the NHL or NBA playoffs with our production schedule, even golf, which we usually talk about on the show. Not great this week with the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, and Scotty Scheffler like a plus 280 favorite. So I was going to dive all into 2 markets that come out of the draft: offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Now, last year after the draft, I bet 3 guys immediately. Of course, I only gave out 2 on the show. I gave out the 2 offensive rookie of the years, which ultimately didn't get home. My defensive rookie of the year player right after the draft did get home, but I bet Bo Nix at 20-1, J.J. McCarthy at 15-1 on the show, probably exactly a year ago. Obviously, McCarthy got hurt. We didn't get to see how that plays out, but Nix, I think, was an incredible bet at 20-1. I think he wins any other year. He just had the misfortune of being in the same class as Jaden Daniels. So I know we always like the money. We always like to win, but sometimes you got to look back on your process like that, on a bet, and be happy with where you wound up, which brings me into this year. I thought we'd talk about this more like a process-driven thing. I think there are huge opportunities in future markets and award betting, but I talked to a lot of bettors that are just hesitant to get in there. I thought maybe I've done it successfully for several years now. Thought maybe I'd give you a little bit of what I was thinking, what I landed on, and even if you don't make these bets, maybe in future sports when we have opportunities like that, you could do it for yourself. So offensive rookie of the year, where so far I have only made one bet. To me, this is mainly about quarterbacks. Yes, we do have some crazy situations like Jamar Chase a couple years ago that could come up and steal it with a historic season, but quarterbacks have such an advantage with their production. I honestly think a lot of times we are too confident in saying this quarterback's going to be better than this quarterback. A lot of times it comes down to a crapshoot. I mean, just look at the past 2 number 1 picks. They didn't even finish, I think, in the top 3 for Rookie of the Year voting. I think that's probably different this year with Cam Ward. I would be interested in betting in him. His best price right now is 4-1. However, I'm not going to tie up money for a year at 4-1. Even if he's great in training camp in the preseason and is the talk of the league, he's not going to go much lower than 4-1. So I think you want to look in the longer shots, try to pick off some big prices, and I think I got a great one. Okay, Ward clearly is the most likely quarterback to be on the field this year, but who's second? This is when a light bulb went off on my mind. I don't even like this guy. I would not have drafted him for my own team, but clearly I think the guy with the second fastest path to playing time is not Jackson Dart, who went in the first round, the second quarterback taken to the Giants, not Shedeur Sanders, who ultimately winds up in a good situation with the Browns, but to me it is a Tyler Shook with the Saints, 26 years old. It looks like Derek Carr's shoulder injury is very severe. He talked in Las Vegas here over the weekend. It didn't really make you feel any better if you're a Saints fan. They invested a second-round pick, a new regime, including coach Kellen Moore, on Tyler Shook. All he has to do is beat out Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler, who we saw a lot of last year. Did they do some good things? I guess, but both lower draft picks. I think there's a good chance that Shook is the starter from week 1 with the Saints. So I found him at 60-1. I just had to fire on that. Now, unfortunately, the sportsbook where I bet it at 60-1, now down to 16-1, but there are still some 25-1, some 30-1s. At 30-1, I still like that. This is what future portfolio building is all about to me. You try to build some equity going into the season, then you could take some of those lower priced guys if you have a smaller edge there and your expected value is still going to be high. So I'm looking to add Cam Ward probably. I do believe he's going to have a big year, maybe at 4-1, maybe a little bit closer to the season, see if it boosts a little bit with people taking shots like I am. But Tyler Shook, my one guy at 61. Defensive Rookie of the Year, here is where I bet to. Last year I bet Jared Verse at 16-1 right after the draft, and he coasted the whole way. I guess this is one part where the strategy I just talked about, adding some other guys, can come to backfire, because I added some guys ultimately in that market that didn't get home. I know Dallas Turner, a couple other guys. This year, I think there's a clear favorite. Again, Abdul Carter, plus 250, plus 275. And sure, he is the most likely winner, but I am not going to pay that low of prices. I do like edge rushers in this market, though. Sacks is the sexy stat, of course, with defense. It's the easiest thing to get. It takes something really crazy like Sauce Gardner in the New York media market for a defensive back to grab it. A linebacker, I also honestly just don't even see it happening. I know we have the Micah Parsons situation, but Micah Parsons kind of turned into more of an edge rusher his rookie year. So 2 edge rushers. The second 2 highest edge rushers I was highest on going into the draft. First, Shamar Stewart, 17-1 at the Bengals. I know he didn't produce great at Texas A&M in college, but his numbers at the combine and stuff were off the charts good. That does count for something, I think, analytically, like in the Saxy or projections, which you can find on ESPN. He is the second highest projected rookie, so I took him at 17-1, and I like this one even better. Mike Green, what a great landing spot for him. As good of a landing spot as Stewart is with the Bengals. Mike Green to the Ravens. I know he's had some issues in his personal life, but you take all that away and kind of the character concerns, he would have been like a top 15 pick. I think someone just sloppily threw these odds together when he should be around more like 10-1. I got Mike Green at 22-1, so I'm starting the defense portfolio with Green 22-1, Stewart 17-1, and Shook 60-1. That's how I broke down the offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year markets. Can't wait for the NFL to get back in action. Thanks for checking out another edition of the Vegas Heaters.
Welcome back to Starting Lineup. Pretty special to have 3 guys that have all been to the Derby, right?
Yes, sir.
I've been to 3 of them. I know you've been to close to 10 of them. This man right here, Monty Ballard.
Been about 20.
How about that?
Yeah.
He's a regular.
He was that guy that was probably dropping those slips in the infield, and you were finding them later. But welcome in, man. It's, of course, just a very special day in horse racing, and we know how to bet the Kentucky Derby. If you were listening to the earlier part of the show, now we need to know what to put in when we get to the window. Kip, we'll start with you.
Kip Kiefer this year likes number 18, Sovereignty. I got to always be careful on pronouncing that. Sovereignty from the Bill Mott barn. Bill Mott was already a Hall of Famer about 10 years ago, but in this part of his career, now getting into his 70s, I think he is doing a more phenomenal job than even all of the things that earned him that designation in the greatest honor in the sport. He didn't used to have a lot of young horses. He was more of a specialist with the older guys. Sovereignty won the Fountain of Youth Stakes in electrifying fashion. He only came in second in the Florida Derby, so some people have kind of got off the bandwagon. But it's important to point out his regular rider and the go-to rider for the Bill Mott barn is Junior Alvarado. And I will tell you, right now, he's as good as anybody in the sport. The Ortiz brothers, Flavian Pratt. Junior Alvarado's outstanding. He got hurt 2 days before the Florida Derby. They flew Manny Franco in, who's a very good jockey in New York, but doesn't ride Gulfstream. And I think that was a big factor in Sovereignty not winning that race. Came in second to Tappan Street, who's been scratched now from the Derby for being injured. So I really, really like Sovereignty, number 18 to win. We talked about Exactas. I would pair him up with the numbers you're seeing there. The 3 speedball horses in the race are the number 1, Citizen Bull, the number 4, Rodriguez, and the number 12, East Avenue. I've got East Avenue picked second. I think he'll eventually last longer than the other 2. And I also have a kind of a long shot there at the bottom. Burnham Square is going to be a solid price. He's a big closer. And I like number 10, Grande, a really rising star for the Todd Pletcher I was going to say kennel. I've been in the greyhound business too long. For his stable, it's going to be a fantastic race. That's my picks, and there's my exactas.
Monty,
That's
what
good.
you got, bro? Yeah.
Well, it's going to be probably 6 hours to the race right now.
Yep.
And it's been raining, so it's going to be wet, so we have to consider that. I did find a little jewel here. There's only one horse that's really run good in the slop. He's raced 4 times in the slop. He's finished first 3 times, came in second once. That's Luxor Cafe.
Okay.
From Japan. So he's got a Japanese horse that we got to look at, and I like him. So
I've had some luck at Luxor's out in Vegas too.
Yeah, I've eaten at the Luxor Cafe.
But I do also like Rodriguez because he's fast.
He's the
and
speed.
and that's a Bob Baffert horse.
Yep.
So I like Rodriguez to get out and go to it. Journalism, you can't really throw Journalism out. He's the favorite. So I like Rodriguez, Journalism, and Luxor Cafe.
And it is good to have Baffert back in it. I mean, it's good to have him. He paid his dues, and to have that sandy white hair back, and I have a feeling that he's going to have something to say about the winner's circle today for sure.
Yeah. He's got 2 horses.
He's got 2
both
horses.
of them really need to be on the lead, so they both can't be. So we'll see how that works. They kind of tried to play a little trick on Journalism in the last time that these horses matched up at the Santa Anita Derby. Citizen Bull went to the front, so they really used his other horse Barnes to try to kind of block off Journalism, who overcame that adversity and really showed us something. I'm just kind of on the non-favorite trend right now in the Derby.
But
Journalism's
really strong.
Short fields, and he's really
Short
good.
fields, yeah.
And he may win, but I think from a value standpoint, I'm going against him.
Go ahead.
He's never run with more than 5 horses.
Yep.
But he's facing 19 today.
Yeah, it's a little different.
19 today.
Go to K4Wins.com. K4Wins.com. We'll have some Derby picks up there. You'll get Kip's plays. We'll put Monty's plays up there as well. K4Wins.com. It's fantastic site, and enjoy your wonderful
the
Saturday
Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby. It's good stuff. Till next week, this is the starting lineup.